Hello, hello, hello! As a lot of you are aware, new Bond Store tanks. 5 tanks have been introduced to the Bond Store, and it's only been roughly 4 months since our last introduction to vehicles in the Bond Store. Usually this happens once a year sort of thing, so maybe they're doing it more often now. Unless I'm just wrong and it was introduced in January last year as well. You have the Char Mle 75, which is probably the most sought after vehicle in the entire Bond Store now. The Somua SM, the ISU 122S, the A46, and the T14. Now the Char Mle goes for 11,000 bonds, which means that it's in line with the Tiger Mouse and the WZ114, our beloved vehicle, but is only 1,000 less than a full tier 10, being the FV215B and the Foch 155. You then have the Somua SM, which is 8,000 bonds alongside the rest of the tanks, which are tier 8 heavies, at least for the ones that you should probably get. The ISU 122S is alongside the rest of the tier 7 tanks, being the T23E3, Type 62, IS2S, and the IS2. The A46 is the same price as a TOG, and I can tell you right now, go and get a TOG instead of this thing. And the T14 is 1,500 bonds, which, if you compare it to an RBFM, there's no real contest. The RBFM just wins outright. But compare it to a T34S, and yeah, I'd probably rather play the T14. Anyway, I'm going to go through each one of these and tell you whether or not it's worth to spend the bonds on this vehicle, but also take into consideration what is surrounding it or nearby it for the price. And if you want to hear my opinions on what I think about the other tanks in the Bond Store, I have already made a video, link will be in the description. Now, moving on to the Char Mle 75, you should probably just go ahead and buy one of these things. Even if you're not a light tank player, it doesn't matter, because this is not really a light tank. This doesn't really have the vision, doesn't really have the camo, and comparison to the other light tanks that you're going to meet, you're just going to get outspotted by them. However, this vehicle is insane for its combat capacity. Now, this tank has 200 alpha damage. Now, that is not very good, but the thing is, this tank is an autoloader, and it has 2 shells in the magazine. And that's still not very good. You're thinking, Max, that's 400 alpha damage. That's useless. Yes, but each one of the shells actually fires 3 times. And then you wait 3.5 seconds in between each shell. And then when you're ready to go again, you click it and it fires 3 times again. Which means that you can do 1,200 damage to an opponent very, very quickly. A little like this. Oh, he's here. He's literally here. Yep, you think you've got a good clip? Nope. See you later, mate. Bye-bye. Now, this does also have a speed mode, which means that you'll go at 75 forwards and 30 in reverse, but then your gun stats are a lot worse. And not only that, your view range and camo rating are a lot worse as well. Which does just bring it to be not really a light tank, but just a damage-dealing kind of medium light tank combo-ish. It's not really a medium tank either, because, well, it's just way too fragile. But the things that you can do with this vehicle really do just outweigh every other con that this tank has. And for many, that's the reason why they want to get one of these things, because it is just incredibly fun. Not only that, but you can ammo rack a lot of people with this thing. Considering that you're going to be firing 3 times and then quickly 3.5 seconds later be able to do it again, yeah, you can quickly hit modules like nothing. So yes, for 11,000 bonds, you should go and pick it up. Even if you suck in this thing at the start, you'll learn to go and do a lot of damage in it. It does take a while to learn it, but you can get a lot out of this vehicle. However, with that being said, I've just realized that if you are brand new to the game, you probably don't want to pick this up, at least not straight away, because this does have quite a high skill cap when it comes to playing this vehicle. Because it's not like anything else, you will suck, as I said. However, if you're brand new to the game and don't really understand anything, it's definitely not worth trying to learn stuff in this vehicle. I would go and play other tanks, then come back to this. It's always going to be in the Bond Store for 11,000 bonds, and bonds you will gain over time anyway. Moving on to the Somua SM. Now, this is the 5100's little bit more armored brother. Sort of. You have 300 alpha damage with good standard penetration, decent premium penetration, and you have an autoloader. 5 shells in a magazine, 2.25 seconds into clip reload, and 35 seconds to load the full clip. Accuracy is okay, DPM is okay, and the aim time is fine. Is this a good tank? It's okay. I think that this is just a bit average. It's not really up there being absolutely fantastic, but it's not bad either. If you know how to play the 5100, this should be okay. It's nowhere near being fast as the 5100, like nowhere close to being as fast, because you do have somewhat good hull armor and you can bounce lots of shots if you just bait the upper frontal plate like this. However, the turret armor, not so good. But for 8,000 bonds, it's a premium, it earns you credits, and for a lot of people, if they enjoy the 5100 line, this will fit in a lot better than other tanks that you might be able to pick up for 8,000 bonds. So while I don't think that it's an absolute must buy and just instantly rush out and buy it, it is there to consider. The ISU-122S. This thing has 390 alpha damage, 175 standard penetration, premium rounds being APCR bumped up to 217, which is not super fantastic, but for a tier 7, more than good enough. However, you do have nearly 3,300 DPM base, which is extremely good. However, the accuracy is not super fantastic, and the aim time is very bad. So it's a bit of swings and roundabouts. You get some good stuff, but then some bad stuff regarding the gun. View range is abysmal, camo is okay, and the speed is fine. Is it worth 6,000 bonds? Probably not, considering that tier 8 premiums are just around the corner at 8,000 bonds, and for 6,000, you're getting quite close. However, some people that don't want to go to tier 8, and they want to just stay at tier 7, and they might enjoy the ISU-122S. If you enjoyed the SU-152, with the smaller gun being the 390 alpha damage, this is quite similar. However, I do feel that the SU-152 is just a bit more fun to play, and not only that, but you can just go and get it in the tech tree. Sure, this is a premium vehicle, but I find it hard to really justify spending this many bonds on a tank when you can get a tier 8, which is going to earn you a lot more credits. So probably don't get this. But I think that if you wanted to get this, you already know who you are. We now have the A46. No. Why? Just get a TOG. Get a TOG or save up for a different vehicle. Do not get an A46. And the T14. Is it better than the RBFM? No. Is it better than the T34S? Yes. Should you go and get one? Probably not. But then if you have loads and loads of bonds and 1,500 is really nothing to you, then sure, pick it up. If not, save up. Get a different vehicle. I mean, it really is just as simple as that. I remember when this thing used to be really rare, and it was really good actually. But I don't think in nowadays world of tanks, it's that good. Especially with the accuracy. DPM is fine for what it is, but it's just a bit slow. The armor's not really going to hold up nowadays, especially when everyone's firing premium and you're going to meet +2, etc. Although actually saying that, I'm not too sure if it is +2. It's not. You can only get +1 in this vehicle. So does that make it better? No. Anyway, as I said, if you want to watch my full video on where I've gone through every single tank in the bond store, this is just more of an updated video, then you can do in the description. These videos will just be published each time that stuff comes out, and then I don't have to keep repeating myself throughout the entire bond store list. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.